Alrighty, alrighty, Steelers and Browns, and very well done to the Steelers overperforming on your first true matchup here, your first true test of the season, and you absolutely showed out. So very well done to the Steelers. You played so well that they benched Baker Mayfield. How wild, right? But before we get into the struggles of the Browns, let's appreciate the greatness of the Steelers real quick. Big Ben Roethlisberger, 14 of 22 for only 162 yards and a touchdown. He did not win this game. The Steelers defense, we've been talking about it, folks. We've been known about the Steelers defense. We've known that the Steelers defense was the best defense in the league, and they played like it yesterday. The defense, let's talk about what the defense did. They picked off Baker Mayfield twice. Absolutely fantastic. And they forced a fumble. We didn't get it. They didn't recover it, but they still forced it. They still said, hey, we can make you fumble, so you better wrap that shit up. So very well done to the Steelers defense. Let's see how many sacks and tackles for losses we get. We get Bud Dupree with 2 sacks. Absolutely fantastic. We get Stephon Tuitt with a half a sack, and he half a sacked with Devin Bush. So well done to them. We get Cameron Sutton with the sack. Well done. And those are the players with the sacks. Now let's talk about tackles for losses. Cameron Hayward with a tackle for loss. Bud Dupree, 2 tackles for losses. Yes, he had 2 sacks as well. Fantastic. What a day by Bud Dupree. We know about him. What do we got? Spillane here, tackle for loss. We got Vince Williams, a tackle for loss. We got TJ Watt, yes sir, Watt brothers doing what they do, tackle for loss there. So they were just literally all over the field. And then we had Minkah Fitzpatrick with an interception, and then Cameron Sutton with the other interception. So it was just a great game defensively by the Steelers, setting up short fields. They ended up getting a pick six. Was this... Whose was this? This was Minkah Fitzpatrick. So, he's got the speed. Minkah Fitzpatrick, really one of my favorite defenders just because of the way he plays the safety position all over the field. Him, Jamal Adams, really there is one other one I can't remember off the top of my head, but these teams with like free roaming safeties that really can do it all over the field all the time. And Minkah Fitzpatrick is one of them, and he had a fantastic game last night. So, making it easy for Big Ben. I mean, he only threw 162 yards, and they still put up 38 points. Absolutely fantastic. James Conner, great game as well. 20 carries for 101 yards and the touchdown. I'm a big believer in James Conner. He's a solid running back, folks, and he had a great game. Let's get into these receivers. Chase Claypool, he is back, baby. Leading receiver again with 74 yards. And then James Washington for 68 yards. This receiving core is very good for the Steelers. You've got Chase Claypool, you've got James Washington, and you've got Juju Smith-Schuster. Those are all speedy wide receivers, folks, and they're all about that 6-foot mark, so right up there in size. They've got some dangerous wide receivers. And then they've got this safety blanket in Eric Ebron, all reliable tight ends. So truly, the Steelers offense is one of the better ones in the league. And Big Ben is not turning it over. Now let's look at the Browns now, because the Browns kind of played like how we expect the Browns to play. Kyle Stefanski didn't have a great game, and we see maybe it's Baker Mayfield trying to hold this team back. I mean, before Baker Mayfield gets benched, I mean, he didn't even throw the ball a lot. He went 10 of 18, folks. 10 of 18 for 119 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks. So Stefanski has a good game plan. Usually he doesn't overwork Baker Mayfield, letting him only pass about 25 times, and that usually helps with, not a lot of turnovers. But he only threw 18 times here, and he has 2 interceptions, folks. So Baker Mayfield will Baker Mayfield. He's proven he can't clean it up, and he's proven that Kevin Stefanski can't even try to scheme around it, try to cover up Baker Mayfield's mistakes, those interceptions that he does throw a lot. We try to cover them up by not throwing the ball a lot, but they still come out even with 18 attempts. That's not great, folks. That's not great, especially when you're throwing pick sixes on your first drive, and then you're coming out with 3 and outs and 5 and outs and 5 and out again, and we're not even. And then you throw another interception, and now we're down 24-0. And then finally we are able to get a touchdown, but that's our only score in the entire game. A 9-play, 65-yard, 4-minute, 42-second drive. That's a solid drive. I will give them that, but that's all they did. We get a 3 and out, a 3 and out, a 4 and out on turnovers and downs, a 7 and out on turnover on downs, a 5 and out on turnover on downs. I definitely appreciate going for these. The game's over. Why not just try and do something? We can't even pick up fourth downs. Unfortunate. How long are these? These are 4th and 1s. These are all manageable, folks. That was 4th and 1. This is 4th and 2. Once again, manageable. What's this one? 4th and 1 again. So it's just unfortunate. You can't pick up the 1 yard. Offensive line's not giving it. They're all getting outworked by the defense. Once again, we have to give credit to the Steelers defense. Look at this. These fourth downs and outs that they're providing. They're not letting them pick up the 4th and 1, the 4th and 2. So they have 2 turnovers. They have all those sacks. They have all those tackles for losses, and they have all these turnovers on downs to show for it. So the defense just absolutely wrecked havoc all over the Browns. They force Kevin Stefanski to bench Baker Mayfield, kind of like the Dolphins forcing the Niners to bench Jimmy Garoppolo last week. So absolutely love what I saw from the Steelers last night. And, a potential spot at number 1. Could I put them up at number 1? I definitely could. I loved what I saw from the defense. Held the Browns to only 7 points, and they have so much talent over there. But Baker Mayfield, it's starting to get too much, and now we have to start talking about maybe finding Baker Mayfield's replacement. We know that this team has so many key pieces, so many weapons. They've got the head coach to scheme their way. But if Baker Mayfield's not delivering the ball, it's unfortunate. They have to get rid of him. I mean, look at these stats, folks. 10 of 18, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Truly not great at all, folks. That is a trash stat line if you are asking me. This is truly not great. How are you throwing the ball only 18 times, but you're still throwing those 2 interceptions? I thought you were throwing interceptions because they're working you a lot. We saw that last week. You threw the ball about 38, I believe, 38 times, and that's where, I would give you a little slack for those 2 interceptions. Plus, you threw 2 touchdowns, so we were, like, all right, we can kind of find a silver lining in those stats, but now we get 10 of 18, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. That's never going to cut it, ever, in any game. You will never win a single game with this stat line. Never. So well done to the Steelers. They proved so much to me last night, and they've been vindicating me of why we have them so high in our top 10, currently number 3. But with the Packers' loss last night, hey, there's a spot open at number 2. Can they take it?